So much of the movie is the opposite of what you're thinking it is. Like, the characters are the opposite of what you're thinking, and the conversations are flipped, and I really enjoyed that. Like,
You see, the four of us have a very important job to do. In fact, it might be the most important job in the history of the world.
It's so nice to meet you, Mr. Shyamalan. I'm Becca from Fuera de Foco. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to talk to you.
I'm amazed by the movie, and I gotta say that one of the things that I found most interesting was how ultimately Eric and Andrew have to take a leap of faith and do whatever they think is best for their daughter, although they don't know if their beliefs are right or if it's gonna work. What do you think those themes like conspiracy and apocalypse were good vehicles to explore this story?
I love the idea of saying something ridiculous that seems impossible to believe, and then slowly, little bit by little bit, moving a character to maybe believing it, and then yanking it out from under them and saying, wait, no, it wasn't true, and then building them back up again and saying maybe it's true, and having the audience going back and forth and back and forth. And conspiracy theories are such a wonderful, fun way of doing that, because there's so many crazy conspiracy theories in the world, and I get a giggle out of them, so it was fun to talk about them.
And I think it's really surprising that you chose to give a definitive answer at the end of the movie, even though the book's ending is really ambiguous. Can you tell me why do you think it was a nice twist to complement Tremblay's work?
I love the premise of the book, and I just feel if you're making a story about people that have to make a choice, they have to make a choice. I don't care what the choice is, honestly. You could make any choice, but you can't set up that premise without actually fulfilling it. I think for me, I need to have a decision either way. Okay,
so do you think this movie is more about the tensions that leads to making decisions?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, sometimes we have to make really difficult decisions with very little information, and we may regret it, you know, when we do it, and so that's such a scary place to be. But most of our lives, we have to kind of go from a certain value system, so it's a very interesting thing. You're doubting, and by the nature of the story, it just could be a very dark situation, and it for sure feels like that. So you're fighting through a lot of information to come to a decision, which I loved with the ticking clock. That sense of I don't know. I really don't know what to do. I wanted the audience and the characters to feel that.
The movie talks a lot about short delusions and taps a little bit on how the internet has been a major influence spreading and creating conspiracy theories, which makes very difficult to know what's true or what's not. In this light, what would you like the audience to think about those themes after watching this movie?
You know, and so much of the movie is the opposite of what you're thinking it is. Like, the characters are the opposite of what you're thinking, and the conversations are flipped, and I really enjoyed that. Like, the characters that have a gun are not the ones you think would, and, you know, on and on. And in this case, you know, that you're so contained, and there's a conspiracy theory about what's going on outside the cabin is very delicious to me, the sense of there's no way to know. You know, whether they're telling the truth or not. So as late in the movie as I can hold to before you know that they were lying or they weren't lying.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. It was great talking.
Your friend has been chosen to make a horrible decision. If you fail to choose, the world will end.